Iranian-made drones.
Chinese drones. This was a drone strike.
Iran tests military drones.
Consumer drones flown by ISIS.
With an up-close look at drone warfare.
These are the first NATO-owned and operated unmanned surveillance drones.
Military drones, either used as a surveillance or target acquisition asset, have assumed a leading role in counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency and surveillance, and are projected to be of growing importance in future military operations. In comparison to manned aircraft and dismounted assets, their low cost makes them expendable and ideal for highly dangerous or politically sensitive missions. However, technical limitations, as well as likely improvements in competing technologies, notably air defence systems, shall circumscribe the military role of drones. Although an integral part of future warfare, they are unlikely to fully replace manned aircraft and will instead complement them. Two key questions arise while assessing the military impact of drones. First, do they represent an evolution or revolution in military technology? This is Zero Fox, and I would like to welcome you to my new channel. We aim to keep our videos short and concise. The challenge is 10 minutes. Let's begin. The number of countries with military drones has skyrocketed over the past decade. A new report revealed that nearly 100 countries have this type of technology incorporated into their armed forces. In 2010, only about 60 countries had military drones, but this number has since jumped to approximately 100. 171 different models of unmanned aerial vehicles are either actively employed within a training environment or utilised operationally. Around the world, there are at least 21,000 drones in service, but this is a conservative number, noting the increase in insurgency and counterinsurgency operations. One thing that is clear is drone proliferation is accelerating. Furthermore, it is imperative to highlight here that among the countries that have access to military drone technology, around 20 have armed drones, higher-end systems that are becoming more prolific. Proliferation of drone technology is only expected to continue as countries like China, which has emerged as a major exporter of unmanned systems, include armed drones such as the pterodactyl. Most studies and reports draw similar conclusions, and that is current generation drones are the tip of the spear for the emergence of robotics in militaries around the world. UAVs provide military users with several strategic advantages. Modern UAVs offer a range of military capabilities designed especially for the ISTR missions. Thanks to the capability of flying at low altitudes, thus enabling under-the-radar flights, and to minimal acoustic and visual signature construction, covert operations are made possible. Smaller companies are now entering the military bidding war in order to secure contracts offering small, quiet, and easy to operate tactical UAV systems, offering high-quality day and night payloads with real-time communication and video links. Rapid deployment is another aspect with high importance when performing ISTR missions. Innovative systems are built to enable minimal turnaround time and immediate portability. Many smaller UAVs can be assembled in less than 5 minutes. Swapping batteries and sensors is a plug-and-play procedure that can be performed by one person with no need for complex training. Some of the advantages of using drones include enabling around-the-corner insights in real time. This capability allows early warning, providing situational awareness of enemies and potential threats. This type of information ensures safer movement in urban, rural, and different terrains, therefore making troops proactive based on field intelligence. Obtaining this critical information reduces the risks for soldiers and civilian population by pinpointing military response accurately to the potential threat. Only one needs to search YouTube to witness Islamic State effective use of off-the-shelf drones and how it demonstrated the value of surveillance, especially in the urban terrain. Optics in large UAVs use some of the most sophisticated monitoring equipment available today. Firstly, the full-color nose camera that the pilot uses primarily to navigate the aircraft. Variable aperture camera that functions as a UAV's main set of eyes. Modern UAVs are generally equipped with a variable aperture infrared camera for low light and night viewing, and a synthetic aperture radar for seeing through haze, clouds, or smoke. Specific to the Predator drone, every camera in the plane's forward bank can produce full motion video and still frame radar images. Most UAVs offer real-time imagery of the enemy position to a command post well before the first troops or vehicles arrive. This kind of information allows field commanders to make quick and informed decisions about troop deployment, movements, and enemy capabilities. Of course, the greatest advantage of using a UAV is that it possesses most of the advantages of a traditional reconnaissance sortie without ever exposing the pilot to a hostile environment. UAVs are generally classified into 5 groups according to their size, range, and speed. The varying sizes and ranges of different UAV platforms provide unique advantages and disadvantages to each group. The smaller UAV platforms are particularly interesting due to their low cost, portability, and widespread availability. What we are looking to understand and characterise is the current state of technology regarding weapon deployment on the small UAVs. Specifically, the 3 types of weapons employed on UAVs being 1. The mounted guns and the application of direct fire, 2. Ballistic weapons such as dropping a bomb or the employment of guided missiles, and 3. Loitering munitions or suicide drones. The United States military is not the only organisation worldwide that is considered militarising UAVs, especially the small and affordable commercial variants. Countries that have weaponised UAVs for military efforts include China, Russia, Israel, UK, and Turkey, amongst others. More troubling is the use of weaponised drones by violent, non-state actors, such as the Islamic State. Over the past 20 years, drones have become smaller, but increasingly more important and strategic on the battlefield. While in the previous decade, the battlefield was partially dominated by larger UAVs, like the MQ-1 Predator and MQ-9 Reaper, the current trend is towards smaller UAVs that can switch payloads to perform a variety of missions, either intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, lethal attacks, or swarming manoeuvres. A loitering munition is a type of UAV designed to engage beyond line of sight ground targets with an explosive warhead. Loitering munitions are often portable and typically meant to provide ground units with a guided precision munition. They are equipped with a high-resolution electro-optical and infrared cameras that enable the operator to locate, track, and guide the UAS to the target. A defining characteristic of loitering munitions is the ability to loiter in the air for an extended time before striking, giving the operator time to decide what and where to strike. Unlike other types of similar size UAVs, loiter munitions detonate on impact and are not meant to be recovered, hence the nickname suicide or kamikaze drones. A current trend is outfitting smaller UAVs with guns, though the recoil from machine guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers and shotguns requires complex drone modifications. There are a few modified drones on the market or in development, but the more complex solution appear to be either attach a munition or transform the drone into the weapon. The Islamic State has modified commercial drones to drop munitions on enemy troops, a tactic employed by both Russia and Ukraine in the most recent conflict. Overall, the most popular current trend in drone warfare appears to be the development and use of loitering munition UAVs. One thing is certain, and that is the lethality of drones really drums down to the imagination of the user. And noting the advancements of AI, the accuracy and lethality of this system is something to be both respected and feared on the battlefield. Industrial operations are evolving around the world, thanks to some of the most rapid technology-to-market transition anyone has seen. Many military forces are tapping industry for drones that can deliver supplies to forward-deployed troops. The US Capabilities Development and Integration Office began looking in earnest at a concept called the Joint Tactical Autonomous Aerial Resupply System about 4 years ago with the hope of getting a capabilities development document signed in 3 years. The operational requirements for the drone indicate it should be technologically mature to demonstrate capability, weigh less than approximately 135 kilos, and be able to haul up to 360 kilos of supplies to the field to provide an organic sustainment capability in a multi-domain operational environment. Expectation for the drone indicate it should be able to operate in a 110-mile radius at a day or night and in bad weather conditions, as well as plug into current and future tactical command and control systems. Setup time to launch a package should take 15 minutes, and 2 to 4 soldiers should be able to lift it out of a transport container. The drone must automatically launch, navigate in GPS-denied environments, drop cargo, land, and return to its point of origin. Turnaround time between missions should be minimal. The system should be modular and open in order to integrate a variety of payloads and software needed, but it also must be secure from cyber attacks. Protection of logistical chains has always been a priority for military forces, and generally speaking, logistical assets are a HVT to enemy forces. Drone employment within the battle space offer the commander the capacity to move stores and supplies to forward deployed troops, without the risk to personnel. As always, protection of these assets will be a major consideration, and a combined arms approach inclusive of ISR would be imperative for success. Away from the high-intensity battlefield, drones are still being used by insurgents and militia units. But if the drone threat is relatively well understood, why is it so hard to counter? Most drones in use today are smaller than traditional military aircrafts and require different kinds of air defences. They fire slower and lower to the ground, and that means that many air defence systems are not optimised to shoot them down. Many countries are working to develop countermeasures against drones, and over time we'll see more effective counter-drone systems spread to battlefields as well. One challenge though will be countering mass drone attacks, since low-cost drones can be built in large numbers. There's been a whole lot of talk about futuristic so-called drone swarms, and drone swarms could be used for simultaneous, multi-directional attacks in ways which could overwhelm human defenders. In summary, the future of warfare has most certainly evolved, and the position on whether the drone has a place within the future of warfare is most certainly confirmed. Questions now include: how do we defend against these assets? How do we protect a multi-billion-dollar asset against the so-called swarm drones? And more importantly, how would the employment within a combined arms environment evolve along with the other military assets? This takes us to approximately 10 minutes. If you stuck around to the end, I thank you. I commit a lot of research to my videos, and I already have several more in edit. If you like the video, potentially think about hitting that subscribe button. I'll leave you with a famous Sun Tzu quote: "There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare." This is Zero Fox, out.